Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news. And today we have a few rumors and leaks to talk about. As always, when it comes to rumors and leaks, do remember to take it with a grain of salt. But you never really know about these type of things. Maybe there is something to these. The first leak is actually a really big one too, which is the next Assassin's Creed game may have leaked, which according to the rumor will be a cross-gen title with Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet. So we will talk about that because there is plenty of other details. Then Nintendo Switch may be getting one of the better first-person shooters on the market, and it could be releasing within the next 30 days. Also, we do have some Xbox related news that I think you may find to be very interesting, so stay tuned for that as well. But first, let's talk about Assassin's Creed. So of course, it's been no secret that Ubisoft was working on some kind of Assassin's Creed game. That in itself is not really all that surprising. I mean, this is a ridiculously huge franchise by this point, but the leak did talk about a few different things, such as the setting, characters, release date, and much more. Again, do take this with a grain of salt, but the leak did say the title would be Assassin's Creed Ragnarok and would be centered around Vikings, which honestly sounds pretty cool. There's a lot of different historical settings that Assassin's Creed could go for, but I do think there is a lot of potential with this one in particular because Vikings have been one of the more recognizable warriors across all of history, and they could be really creative with this one and make a beautiful world with an interesting story. But the leak does go on to say that the map includes Scandinavia, England, London, and Plymouth. But this is where it gets really interesting because just like Odyssey, you will be able to choose between a female or male character, which is a really good thing. I was really happy they did that with Odyssey, though this will not impact the story. And also you will be able to meet mythical beings such as Loki and Odin. That is what really grabbed me, and I think releasing this right after the popularity of God of War could be a big deal. Loki especially has always been really fascinating in both cinema and in games, and it's interesting to see all these different takes on him from story to story. So I'm curious how his role would play out in Assassin's Creed game. The leak did note a few other things as well, saying that it's bringing back Brotherhood recruitable NPC, so if you like that type of thing, that'll be there. It will play similar to Odyssey, which means it could have a lot of RPG elements in it, and I personally think that's a big positive, just my opinion. But there is still going to be naval combat, though not as much in previous games, and the story is about revenge. I mean, on paper, this sounds really good. Like I said, I think if this is true, then they picked a fantastic setting. I think that Vikings is very interesting, and they could do a lot with it. The leak did say it would be out fall of 2020 and will be a cross-gen game, so you may be looking at a launch title for Xbox Scarlet and the PlayStation 5. If that happens, then you already more than likely have one great game coming to next-generation consoles. But yeah, if this leak ends up being true, do you like the sound of it? Let me know in the comments below. Now, there is another rumor floating around right now too, but this one is for the Nintendo Switch, where Metro Redux would be coming to the Switch, and maybe even as early as December of this year. This has actually been rumored for a little while now, because back in October, a Portuguese retailer listed it as coming this December. But many people just kind of brushed it off to the side, as it was probably a mistake or something, but now a YouTuber by the name of Dr.81 has pointed out that the same retailer who leaked Witcher 3 was coming to the Switch also made a listing for Metro Redux. So now we have two different retailers that has listed the same game, so it's starting to appear this may actually be a thing. I for one would welcome Metro over to the Switch, and it would be a fantastic FPS for the hybrid console, but if it truly is releasing this December, then we may want to keep an eye out for another Nintendo Direct and real soon. Now of course this could be all wrong, or maybe even partially wrong, where it's coming but just not in December. I guess it's a wait and see thing by this point. In other news, Xbox first-party studio head Matt Booty had something very interesting to say in an interview that caught my eye. When talking about diversity in Xbox studios and all the upcoming games, he stated, and I quote, "I think all of the studios have got things teed up. We have multiple unannounced projects that we haven't even talked about yet going on, particularly with our publishing team." Now there is two things about this statement that is intriguing. One would be the multiple unannounced projects, which kind of lines up with everything we heard last week from both Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, where they said they have more unannounced games than they even know what to do with. But Matt Booty here mentions the publishing team in specific. Now this would be talking about Xbox Publishing Studio, which is the studio that works with third-party developers to make games. Games like Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Recore, Ori and the Blind Forest, and the new Tell Me Why by Don't Nod are all games that Xbox Publishing works with. So the question is, who is Xbox Publishing working with right now, and what are they working on? We already know a couple, which is Ori and the Will of Wisps, Tell Me Why, and maybe Battletoads as well, but I think that is only being worked on by Rare and Delilah Studios. I don't really know if Xbox Publishing is involved or not, but Matt here alludes to them having several more. I would expect some of these to be announced this year at E3, and more than likely will be gearing up for the launch of Xbox Scarlet. It does have me wondering if they may revive some old IP as well, or if these will be all brand new games from third-party developers. But who would you like to see Xbox work with? Let me know in the comments below. Now the last thing I want to talk about real quick here is Sea of Thieves, because in an interview, Craig Duncan was talking about the success of Rare in recent years, and just kind of noted that Sea of Thieves has been a big success with still millions of players playing, which really just goes to show you why they keep making more content for Sea of Thieves. Not only has the game improved dramatically, and it's actually a very good game now, but also it has a pretty large community according to Craig Duncan. This really is the power of Xbox Game Pass, where you always have new players coming in, but also you have that dedicated community as well. And it's also a testament to Rare and their continued efforts with Sea of Thieves. Regardless, congratulations to Rare on the success for Sea of Thieves. Anyways though, that is it for this episode, but if you liked the video, make sure to hit that bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.